Welcome back to Africa 54. It's been 2 years since Boko Haram kidnapped the Chibok girls, most of whom are still missing, as we all know. Of course, all of us want the girls to be back home safe and sound, but the story raises larger issues of girls' rights in Nigeria and elsewhere. And we'll talk about that right now with Dr. Olufemi Kayode, a human rights activist and the CEO of MediaCon. Dr. Olufemi Kayode, thank you very much for joining us on Africa 54.
Thank you for having me.
Now, away from we already know what's going on regarding the rescue efforts, but what is the bigger picture? Look, using what's happening with the Chibok girls as a premise.
Chibok girls. Basically, you want to look at the bigger picture. You've seen a trend already happening in the north, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria, and you've seen that girls. We're talking about girls accessing education, and this Chibok girls issue has to do with them taking their final exams in the WAEC exams for moving forward to higher institution in terms of university. So now you're having a huge problem where parents don't even want their children to go to school, both male and female, particularly the female child. So we're having a huge drop in females going to school.
Because of what's happening
because of the
Chibok.
because of
Is there a way to reverse this trend, to give some confidence to parents that education is still the right way to go when it comes to their female children? That's
a big one for the federal government. It is a big one, a huge one. The assurance of the girl not coming back, if they're not coming back or we're not getting them back, it's still going to put a huge clog in the process, in the progress of girls accessing education, particularly in the north. There needs to be swift response concerning the return of the girls. We need to see result-oriented, action of the government. 731 days today is just too much to say we're looking for 200 and over 200 girls. So there needs to be some very quick, swift, rapid effort by our government to get the girls back. We're talking about parents. We're talking about a community where you're already trying to encourage them to do that. That is girl-oriented education, not even just male. Now we're talking about, and particularly formal education, not Islamic education. And so now it's difficult to say we're going to let our children off. I mean, I'm a parent. Nobody's going to convince me to send my child to school there. It's a basic life fact. No matter how we want to take it, if I were there, if you were in their shoes, you would also hold your child back.
That's true. But Dr. Olufemi Kayode, at this point, you also mentioned swift action being taken. Can we actually see anything swift now that it's been now that 2 years have gone by?
I believe the government can still redeem themselves. I believe so. Yes, really, they can share intelligence things with us, which of course we don't even need to know.
Yes.
There's some need to know things that is not our business. But what has made the Chibok girls our business is because of the time factor.
Yes.
The time factor is the reason why people are saying we don't even have intelligence. We're sure that they do have some information. But whatever it is they're doing, they just need to get results. All we want to see are the girls. I mean, like there's a proverb in Yoruba that says, it's better to have a dead child than to say he's missing. So it's better to say, oh, this is the corpse of the children. Than to say they don't exist. And if Boko Haram keeps flaunting them in our face that they are still alive, which of course, it's still propaganda. Propaganda in the sense that terrorism is a different ballgame altogether. They can take their videos and the girls are not alive. But the issue for us is, let us even know what is the status of these girls. Are they alive? Are they not?
Well, Dr. Olufemi Kayode, thank you so much for joining us on Africa 54. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Now, a Somali refugee who fled her nation's civil war at the age of 17 is due to return to advise the government on ending the practice of female genital mutilation, or FGM. That's a cultural or religious practice carried out in large parts of Africa and the Middle East. The VOA's Henry Ridgwell spoke to Ifra Ahmed ahead of her trip and reports from London.
98% of Somali girls and women between the ages of 15 and 49 have undergone female genital mutilation, according to the United Nations, making it the country with the highest prevalence in the world. Anti-FGM campaigner Ifra Ahmed last month persuaded Somalia's Prime Minister Omar Abdirashid Ali Sharmark to add his signature to a 1 million strong petition calling for a ban.
Not only that to sign, but he promised that he will be supporting the campaign and he will support within the parliament before end of the year to bring the legislation.
Ahmed herself was forced to undergo FGM as a young girl. She fled Somalia's civil war in 2006 and now lives in Ireland, but is due to return to her home country next month to become the Prime Minister's advisor on gender issues. Part of her job will be to develop an FGM eradication program.
Young women die for bleeding, have kidney infection, a lot of different problems, and also some women, they die because of childbirth. And I say this is the reason I get involved. And some men, they sit and they listen, and then they start arguing. Some of them, they say, well, you know, that is kind of Western culture that you're being taken, and now you want to make it and tell us what you've been told in Western countries.
Somali government troops alongside African Union and Kenyan forces are battling Islamist al-Shabaab militants who continue to stage sporadic attacks. Ahmed says she hides her European background when visiting communities.
There are a lot of organizations based in Somalia who are talking on FGM, but there is no really grassroots that people are going places to do the work because of the situation in Somalia. The whole thing is the war. Everybody's scared.
Despite global pledges to end FGM, the United Nations estimates more than 130 million girls and women alive in the world today have undergone the practice. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.
It's time now for a short break, but before we do, a reminder to visit our website anytime for all the latest program information at channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come, what is the role of the girl child in society? An art exhibition here in Lagos looks at that very question. We'll be right back.